All right, so a lot of you will be have already been heading downtown for your Christmas shopping, but we have to always think about the safety for both you and for the vendors who are planning their wares. So we're going to take a look at some issues, any challenges, and what's being done to solve them, to work with the vendors for the season. President of the Downtown Vendors Association, Dunstan Whittingham, is here with us this morning. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here.
Good morning to you.
How are things downtown? What's happening? What's been happening in the last month?
It's lukewarm.
What?
Yeah. And the reason for that is just that I wanted to say that there's people having a doubt about downtown Kingston. There's nothing to doubt about. We want to first and foremost big up the security forces of this country. And you know, since recently there's a special zone of operation which cover the Western Belt, taking it all along to Harbour Street into Port Royal Street, the market and the business district on the west side of Parade, going as far up beyond Public into Arnett Yard. And then when you go west, it will go from West Queen Street into Spanish Town Road, leading the back to as far as Rima. The situation is one which you find that at night, kind of vending have what you call different time zone, and that's why we exist so long. And those time zone, you'll find that if you go downtown Kingston, as I always tell people, you think you're in Miami.
Yeah.
It's one of the cleanest places right now in terms of how the roadway are set, because they run horizontal and parallel. Road take you down, take you out. I can tell you that the streets have already covered by vendors. And one of the problems we're having is the seasonal vendors, not the residential vendors who are there from Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday, Sunday to Sunday. I know vending is a family thing, so you have replacement people. When your mother gone home, you stay and hang over. But the law is the law, and sometime before the week get deeper down, you will hear those time zone change in terms of the authority.
What are the time zones now? So
well, it's go up until 8 o'clock.
Is it 8?
In the evening, and then what you have is that some of the security force will operate within an ambit of decency, in the sense that they will come, they drive by, so from you see the vehicle, you know that it's time to pack up. Some might do it in another sense, but we all support that operation right now, because since its implementation, we have found out that a lot of the robbers, the thief, they look at petty thief, them have gone, they have vanished. And to let you know, daily, and
special operation have been of huge benefit to
the vendors. All what they are talking about is the change in the time zone. And the rhythm is that from 6 in the morning, people will be now preparing to get into the city. Well, we have schools mostly and recess now, so you'll find that working class people is getting to the both private sector, public sector, and non-governmental people crossing the city. And when you look from 6 to 12, the pot just start to boil, you know? And then from 12 to 4, the pot start to bubble. And the real bubbling of the pot is from that time zone of 4 going as far back to 10 o'clock. Because within that time, you have to pack to leave. And at this time, when it's only 7 days, it's going to shock downtown Kingston. Because everybody crying about the Christmas is this, the Christmas is that. 7 days from now, and within the next 5 days, you will wonder where people get money from when this money is released in downtown Kingston. Remember, people getting back pay like a bonus. What happened to the people who are doing, you know, central and local government extra work, like the bushing, the whitewashing, the yellow painting and all of this? When those money turn, and you have to understand when the Bank of Jamaica give you the next release, and how much billions in circulation, 65% of that money will concentrate on the border of Darling Street to the west.
65?
65% of it. It will go down to the sea course of the south, coming as far back to Duke Street, which is the legal district, and taking it to North Street on the north. This is where the concentration of capital will be bouncing around.
And there's nothing you can't find downtown. There's nothing you
I want to let you know that Yandela can come downtown.
No. I have been. Mr. Marston said my things them by 2 weeks ago downtown.
Yeah, but you buy too early because you can be dressed for $500 and $700 sharply looking.
No, me can get that now.
No, no.
All right, may I come back?
And I'm
When me
talking
go?
about having on a nice dress like what you have here.
Okay.
And that type of
Which street me
balance.
forgot me I look some shoes?
Well, if you talk about Beckford Street,
Beckford.
taking it from the big tree right back to West Street.
All right.
If you look along Orange Street, we're there with the police enforcers
Orange Street.
trying to make sure that you quinge up, you put your back against the wall, leave the space for pedestrians and shoppers.
That's what I wanted to ask you.
And we are doing a lot of that. And when you look at West Queen Street, taking you from the Orange Street here back to Darling Street, which embodied Coronation Market. Remember that we have also the fish market, which have not yet opened, because landscaping needs to be done around it. You have Redemption Ground where some vendors get burned 2 times. You feel burn at Jubilee and you go back to Redemption and get another burn. We have Railway Ground, which burned down within pre-independence and after independence again. People put in infrastructure there.
So let me tell you the concerns that I'm hearing. So you mentioned one of it. Where do I walk?
Well, I can let you know very clear. There's no more boulevard down there for you to walk. There is no highway. All what you have down there leave now until Friday going into Saturday is what you call some small terrace and alley and lanes. Not much street is down there right now.
Oh.
So people are adjusting as the dollar start to tip into downtown Kingston. Remember, you have Crossroad, you have Half a Tree as far as Kansas Swing Manor Park, the Boulevard. And we have to also take into account the rural areas. All these townships.
So now when I have to drive either, I have to park and walk?
No, there's a strong traffic control down there. Because I can tell you the traffic department is doing a good work.
Okay.
And we also helping that by streamlining people, giving people idea. For example, the packaging of garbage. Those garbage trucks will not be able to go into the cubicles, those alleys and little lanes which are there now. So we are saying to our people, package the garbage, put them on the frontier of the main road, like
so
an Orange Street,
and
they just come and pick them up. Because you can't sweep right now.
But if me come from up here now, I say, all right, me say, don't stand there, I say, I go buy 2 shoes at Beckford Street, and I walk Orange Street. Where do I park?
UDC parking lots?
There's a lot of car park. You have the West Pichong Street and West Street big car park, which will take you to both them who is doing agricultural buying.
Those are UDC lots?
No, that's a major car park.
That's paid parking.
That's paid parking. And then you have what you call the one at Barry and Church Street. That is also a major car park. You have the Ulma's Arcade, which is there for you, right at Church Street. And that then after joining the parish church, it was once the Ulma's Arcade, and then we move over to 65 Church Street. We have to also look at Pernell Charles Arcade, where the A and the B wing was burned out. And up to this moment, it have not been rectified as yet. So there is a space adjustment according to some of the markets which have to be refurbished, redeveloped, rebuilt in some cases.
Right.
And we all have to understand that the Oxford Mall complex, which was there from 1989, you can remember, the steel on that building where a clock would have placed in the city of the Western Belt that you could look at the time, at any time of the day, those steel have become brittle now. Wow. Them bend, breeze bend them. Wow. So when these bend steel, you understand how long it is there over a period of time. And this is happening from contractual government. We have a major problem there right now. You know, most of our people is not shopping again. Through Mega Man. We are going China direct. And what have happened, we notice that there is some behavioral practice where the Mega Man is trying to control us, and we will not allow anybody to control us, because up to yesterday, one of our store outlet, which a member of our organization, it was raided. Millions of dollars just of goods have been seized from that place. Talking about, falsified goods and all of these type of things. We are trademarks and brand. You have nothing to show us, because China today make 5 levels of goods. From Milan to Paris, from Paris to London.
But if the clocks have been 2K something, right?
No, those days are past. China have buy all right, all patent. All of them want to offer each shoes today is only $10. That's all. They are not the inventor. It's not their brand. They are not the manufacturers of this. All what they are doing is wholesaling, distribution, and retailing. Why then, you understand, our people should suffer this? And we are going to take it up serious with the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, the Ministry of National Security, because what is happening, if a goods is not suitable and you know that this is a false Nike or a false Adidas, This is not the day where Adidas name Adidas, Nike name Knife, Reebok name Redbook.
Same name. You can same
China have
logo.
bought all of this, and you have to understand there is subsidy where China have the right to lower in the grade because the Adidas and the Nike and the Puma were make for Europe. You could not bring it in the tropics unless you want people to suffer from arthritis and rheumatism.
We're getting a wrap up, Sir Dunstan. 30 seconds to
Dunstan
tell
need
the
a
people
whole
what
day
are you
for
telling
himself.
the folks who are watching about coming downtown to shop? You say
You are
downtown
safe.
is open for business.
You are safe, and remember, we are not saying that the man them must not give the ladies them enough money. But remember, you will get a slippers for $150. After 6 o'clock, that slippers go down to $100. You'll get a nice skirt or dress for $200. You still are at $300.
Mass Dunstan, me a come in and I go bring me goods them.
Bras.
With
And
your own
smile.
money too. Nobody
Yeah.
And show them,
no
sit
money.
down, let me get me shoes them.
And there's
So
a place
make
named
sure.
Red Square, and remember, you can get your hair done between Bar Street, Princess Street,
You know, so then I promise to take me down there with the
and
Sir D,
Bedford
and she
Street,
don't take me all
Machos and Bedford. So I can tell you, it will be one of the biggest Christmas.
If me
in
go
the
down there and me not
history.
get the shoes them, I can tell you it's gonna be one of the biggest cussing
I will
and
carry.
smell
I will
Jamaica
carry.
when me
I
and
will
you
carry,
crash.
but don't
Alright.
afraid to come downtown because
Me
I
not
can
afraid,
tell
me
you
come
can see the
downtown.
build up of traffic already. You can see the movements of people and school. You don't know no a child who go to school from a grown adult. Everybody look big downtown and everybody is heading downtown. That's the place you are to be
But
if you want
bargain.
bargain.
Children, them know them is children. All right, thank you, sir.
And remember, sir, dash out we are dealing with them. there. Dash out.
I dash them, I got dash out as studio. President of the Downtown Vendors Association, Dunstan Whittingham. We're breaking things up and lightening the mood with a bit of music right after this.
Aren't you supposed to take me out?